got a rabbit foot to keep away the hoodoo. Please, oh please, oh do not let me fall. You're all mine and I love you.
The song everyone loved in 1898 was It's a Hot Time in the Old Town Tonight.
There'll be a hot time in the old town tonight.
And it was. The United States of America was on a roll. People seeking freedom and opportunity arrived by the millions, often with little more than hope and a dream. It was a nation soon to become a world power. 1898 was also the beginning of an organization that for more than 100 years has had a big impact on charitable and social activities. The Order of Good Things began with a meeting of 6 Seattle, Washington theater owners. They soon chose the bald eagle as their emblem. Their numbers grew quickly, and they changed their name to the Fraternal Order of Eagles.
Our organization then and still is a member of ordinary people, and from 6 men to 1,200,000, we've grown pretty well. And
it spread like wildfire, and it certainly must have been a lot of good reasons for that to happen, and so many people to get involved in so short a period of time. And the rest, as you say, is history.
Today, there are more than 1,700 Eagles Airies across the United States and Canada. The Airy is where Eagles and their families gather for entertainment, camaraderie, and charitable activities. It's often also the center of social and charitable activities for an entire community. It's through activities promoted and sponsored by members of local Airies that more than $100 million has been raised for charitable activities nationwide in just the past 10 years.
We are very unique in the fraternal organization field. All you have to do is be a member of the human race with the goal of making the human race a better place in which to live in, and you can be an eagle.
We do not discriminate, that we accept any individual, no matter what their wage bracket may be, no matter what their jobs may be, and that we are fair to each and every individual, and no one has more authority than any other.
Across the U.S. and Canada, there are more than 1.2 million members of the Fraternal Order of Eagles. More than 300,000 women have joined the auxiliary to become part of this family dedicated to people helping people.
And you also have the opportunity of socializing with people like you. And the young people can bring their families in. We're a very family-based organization. So with younger people raising kids, instead of having to go to a high-priced place, they can come to a place that are full of people like them, that they choose to socialize with, and they can bring their whole family and spend the evening or several evenings together.
Well, we are a family organization, and they can bring their children with them when they come to the Airy. And as the kids grow up, being around the Eagles, knowing what we're all about, well, then when they're old enough to join the Eagles, then they'll make even better members than their mothers and dads were, maybe.
The Spokane, Washington Airy has more than 5,500 members and 2,100 auxiliary members. This area is the social center of the city. Its members are attorneys, welders, doctors, police officers, and mechanics. They raise more than $1 million a year for local and national charitable projects, including programs to prevent child abuse, heart and Alzheimer's research, and the continuing battle against cancer.
Yeah, I'm a member of society, and so is my wife and my family. And any one of us could be struck with any of these kind of type diseases, and I would hope that somebody would come to my aid if something would happen in that case. So we feel that we're a part of the community, and why not help other people if we can?
Most all of us are affected by one or more of these diseases, and anything that we can do to help raise money to eliminate these diseases is what we need to do. We're just ordinary people working together to do extraordinary things.
Locally, Airies like the one in Spokane provide money for countless local programs as diverse as Little League, schools, scholarships, and Meals on Wheels. The Airy in Rochester, Minnesota has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars with an annual telethon. Others raise money through dinners, raffles, and member donations. Where legal, many raise money with charitable gaming activities like bingo. A lot of the money goes to national programs, but a lot of it stays at home too.
Our local area has the freedom to do just about any kind of benefit they want, and if we have a particular case where a family is in need and one of our members knows about it, he or she will bring it up at their meetings, and then the membership will decide, yes, we'll hold a benefit on a particular date, and we'll raise some money, we'll do what we can to help them.
Valley City, North Dakota is home to another vibrant area. There are more than 1,300 members and 350 committed members of the auxiliary, and this is also the social center of this community. It's not uncommon for the Eagles to host 2 weddings on a weekend. There's open dining, and the area even hosts part of the city's famed winter livestock show. Members have raised more than $3.5 million for charitable giving in recent years. Schools, youth groups, national charities, and the local fire department have all been recipients.
We have 2 paid people here and 38 volunteers. And when we needed pagers the first time to be able to alert our people, we did talk to the gaming committee at the Eagles Club, and they were real generous in purchasing the first set of pagers that we have had. The Rescue Squad covers the entire county, and we do have specialized equipment on it, and all of that equipment is rather expensive. And so they have helped us with the spreaders, the wedges, the jaws of life.
But people with emergencies in the Valley City area also know if they've got a problem, the Eagles will provide help.
Last year we helped a family that didn't have any insurance. I don't know how much we paid, but we paid for the family to drive, back and forth and some of their expenses, for them to stay in a motel down in Rochester and different things like that. And that's the type of stuff that we do with all our gaming funds.
Charities from across the area have also benefited from Eagles fundraising activities.
We have a check for you made out to the Hospice of the Red River Valley for $5,000.
We are reimbursed by Medicare, but we are not reimbursed nearly enough, so these types of gifts are what make our organization keep going and be able to be out in these small communities and help these terminally ill patients. So I really, really appreciate this very generous grant. Thank you very, very much.
One of the country's top medical facilities is Research Medical Center of Kansas City, Missouri. This 344-bed facility began its association with the Eagles back in 1950. Former President Harry Truman was a native of neighboring Independence, Missouri. Give 'em Hell Harry was also a member of the Eagles, and he and his fraternal group quickly became interested in the research done at this facility. Over the years, Eagles have provided millions of dollars to develop new life-saving technologies.
An echocardiogram is a study which images the heart with sound waves. It creates pictures of a moving heart, and through the sound waves, we can look at the heart beating, look at valves, and look at blood flow patterns. It allows us to see the actual pumping function of the heart, how well it pumps. It allows us to visually examine the valves within the heart and allows us to look at blood flow within the heart. Now you're literally making diagnoses in the emergency room, starting treatment in the emergency room, which may have taken several days or even a week, or more invasive procedures like a heart catheterization in the past. The role that the Eagles have played in our institution has literally revolutionized what we have been able to do here at Research.
Many of the procedures performed today by Dr. David Blick were done with open-heart surgery just a few years ago. Now, once dangerous operations are performed without high-risk invasive surgical procedures.
The great advances that occur in cardiovascular medicine are ongoing, and without the financial support that we receive from organizations such as the Eagles is invaluable. And without that support, we wouldn't be able to stay at the cutting edge of medicine and be able to apply these new techniques and new devices that come along on a yearly basis to our patients.
The Sutter Institute for Medical Research in Sacramento, California, is another of the country's premier heart research centers. Eagles have provided tens of millions of dollars to develop cutting-edge solutions like the famous Smirnoff heart valve. Support for Sutter began with support from Eagle and famed former boxing champion Max Baer. Baer was joined by comedian Jimmy Durante, another Eagle, with a strong interest in medical research. Eagles have also provided tens of millions of dollars to the Indiana Heart Institute in Indianapolis, Indiana. One of the innovative programs that's benefited from Eagles funding is the Heart-Based Cardiac Database. 15,000 heart patients a year seek medical care here, and since 1994, background information on more than 60,000 has been collected for future reference.
Through HeartBase and the database, we're able to track our performance. We have quality initiatives which have improved our care, we believe, tremendously. We have continuous feedback. The physicians themselves are given quarterly reports regarding their performance, their outcomes, their complication rates.
The Eagles have also been heavily involved in the battle against cancer. The Damon Runyon Cancer Fund, now known as the Art Ehrman Cancer Fund, was started by famed broadcaster Walter Winchell in the 1940s. Winchell began the battle when his friend, playwright Damon Runyon, died of the dreaded disease. Winchell used his national radio program and show business friends to help in the fight against cancer.
Arrest cancer! It's wanted for murder!
The Eagles quickly enlisted too, and nearly $100 million has been raised, and more than 2,500 scientists have received help from the Art Ehrman Cancer Fund, and slowly but surely, the battle against cancer is being won.
When we give a grant, our grants are given to them for research or education or equipment only. Can't go to administrative costs at all. But when we give it to them, if we give it to them for diabetes, they can try new tests that have never been done before. For cancer, they go with new medications that have never been used before. They are given that freedom. And to hear the doctors speak about that type of freedom when they have the knowledge of things that may cure these diseases but don't have the dollars to let them research that, to hear them tell us how much that money means to them is a great feeling for every member of our organization.
The Menninger Clinic is world famous for its pioneering work with mental health patients. Prior to its founding in the early 1900s, people with mental problems were often kept in cages or straitjackets. But through pioneering work and with tens of millions of dollars from the Eagles, this has become a world-renowned center for psychiatric treatment and research. One of the major projects funded by Eagles today is focused on children with severe personality disorders. The studies are expected to provide help in dealing with issues including substance abuse and school violence like the terrible events at Columbine in Colorado. Of special concern, the impact of television violence on children.
We're looking at children with aggressive problems and children without such problems, and looking at how does it affect these kids? Do they differ from one another? Indeed, they do. Kids who are more aggressive, when they watch violent movies, all kids get stirred up emotionally and physiologically, and we can measure that physiologically. But kids who don't have these problems, what happens is they get stirred up and then they calm down fairly quickly. What we're finding is that the aggressive kids do not calm down. And in addition, they don't seem to perceive very accurately or even think very clearly about what's going on. They may even get so caught up in it that they've lost a sense of the difference between what's reality and what's fantasy.
In Canada, Eagles are providing critical research dollars to find new ways to fight scoliosis. Aries and their auxiliaries in Alberta and Saskatchewan have raised more than $250,000 to develop the use of laser technologies to map the twisted body contours of children affected with the dreaded disease. The laser map is then used to create a special body brace to help in correcting the spinal curvature that makes life so difficult for so many children worldwide.
Scoliosis is a lateral curvature of the spine. The normal spine is supposed to be nice and straight when you look at someone's back. And what happens with scoliosis is the spine begins to curve to the side. The cause at this point is unknown. And the curvature is in 3 planes, so that in fact the curvature is a helix and it resembles a spring. And that's what causes the ribs and so on to also contort the upper part of the body during scoliosis.
Untreated, scoliosis can result in serious heart and respiratory problems as children grow older. Researchers are using the laser-measured individually fitted braces to try and prevent the problem from worsening to the point where surgery is required. Because of their groundbreaking involvement, the laser-measured device being developed is called the Eagles Brace.
We go around and we beg and we borrow and we almost steal from our brothers and sisters and say, hey, come on, throw some more money in for scoliosis research. And you know, the thing with Eagles, when there's a project, especially when it involves children, it really gets us involved in it, and that's how we've been doing this.
Home on the range at Sentinel Butte, North Dakota has received support from the Eagles for 50 years. The ranch and its famed annual rodeo began as the dream of Father Elwood Cassidy, who wanted to establish a home for troubled youngsters. In 1949, he mentioned that dream to an Eagles convention. They passed the hat, and the ranch that stresses responsibility, work, and morals has since provided a home to thousands of young men and women who need help. Many have been victims of abuse and have problems with drugs or alcohol. One young resident told delegates to a recent National Eagles Convention she was a victim of severe abuse. Drugs and alcohol had become a way of life until counselors at the ranch helped her find her way.
If I would have kept going down the road I was going, the only places I would have ended up were jails, institutions, or dead. And that's hard, cold reality. What really gave me courage and hope that I could make it through my addiction and realizing I was a very beautiful and unique individual was seeing how much the people at home on the range care about you, and they won't ever give up on a person.
7 presidents, including Teddy Roosevelt, Warren Harding, Franklin Roosevelt, Harry Truman, John F. Kennedy, Jimmy Carter, and Ronald Reagan have also been Eagles. They joined ranks with plumbers, lawyers, carpenters, and doctors and worked tirelessly for social legislation that's made a difference. Among those issues are many we take for granted today. Mother's Day, old age pensions, Social Security, and legislation protecting jobs after 40.
In almost every one of the accomplishments that we've had, it can be construed that we are trying to help someone else in their walk through life.
We as an organization are large in numbers, and if we continue to stay united in those efforts, we can make a difference. And they are also humanitarian things that our Fraternal Order of Eagles is built on.
For Eagles who have spent their lives helping others, there's a new place to call home once they retire. Eagle Village near beautiful Tampa, Florida, provides a year-round home to Eagles from across the country who are ready to enjoy the good life. An Eagle who's reached the age of 55 and been a member for 15 years is eligible for the minimal rent on one of the community's 85 beautiful homes.
This is a time of life to sit back and enjoy what you've done and to enjoy each other's. The community is the idea here, and peace, contentment, and harmony. They come here to have a wonderful time, to enjoy the weather, to enjoy each other's company, and to generally do most likely what they've always done back home.
The village is run by its own elected council and features a pool, library, and recreation center. There's little free time.
You only have one life to live and do what pleases you, and this is great. Right?
Yeah, we enjoy it, really.
Yeah, we really do.
I thought I would miss the snow.
They make you feel welcome and
And it's just a nice environment to be in. Friendly and neighborly, and we just love it here.
The world is a better place because of the Fraternal Order of Eagles. Their traditions of charitable giving and people helping people have enriched the lives of millions of members.
We're common, ordinary people. We raise a lot of money and give a lot of money away, but we have a lot of fun doing it. We gather socially to do what we can to raise money, and we give away some $10 million a year. And if you're not interested in belonging to an organization like that, then I've got to sit and talk with you, because you got a problem.
And I hope that I live long enough to see a cure for cancer, as an example. And if that happens, I'll know that I was part of an organization that dedicated its time and talent and money to causing that to happen.